let's dive into one of Shakespeare's most intense tragedies, Othello. It's a powerful and heartbreaking story about a general's rise to power and his tragic downfall due to a poisonous mix of jealousy and manipulation. The play begins with Othello, a Moorish general who has secretly married the beautiful Desdemona. This secret marriage is a key starting point that has been asked in exam. This secret stirs up a lot of resentment, especially from Othello's ensign, Iago. Iago is furious because another man, Cassio, was promoted over him, a detail that has been asked in exam. To get his revenge on Othello, Iago manipulates Rodrigo, a man who is in love with Desdemona, to help him. This manipulation of Rodrigo has also been asked in exam, so let's be careful to remember it. Here's a golden trick. Iago's main plot is to make Othello believe that Desdemona is being unfaithful with Cassio, a central conflict that's been asked in exam. To do this, Iago uses a simple but powerful object, a handkerchief, a gift from Othello to Desdemona. This handkerchief becomes a key symbol of fidelity and betrayal, and it has been asked in exam. Iago plants the handkerchief on Cassio, and his lies built on this small piece of evidence make Othello's jealousy deepen into a rage. In a horrifying moment, a completely deceived Othello smothers Desdemona. The truth comes out too late when Iago's own wife, Emilia, reveals his deceit about the handkerchief. And Iago, in a rage, kills her. Realizing his terrible mistake, Othello takes his own life out of guilt and sorrow. Now, let's decode this and talk about what the critics have said over the years. Samuel Johnson praised the play for its depiction of human behavior, highlighting Othello's fiery openness and Desdemona's soft simplicity, points that have been asked in exam. Coleridge famously described Iago as motive hunting of motiveless malignity, a quote and a concept that have been asked in exam. A.C. Bradley viewed Othello as a noble figure who was simply a victim of Iago's cruel manipulation, a point that has also been asked in exam. You'll love this part. In contrast, Wilson Knight criticized Bradley's sentimental view, focusing instead on the play's formal beauty, a detail that has been asked in exam. It just goes to show you how much of a debate this play has sparked. Finally, let's not forget some key quotes and connections. Iago's famous line, "I will wear my heart upon my sleeve," has been asked in exam. And here's something you probably didn't expect. The poet Derek Walcott critiqued racism by referencing Othello in his poem Goats and Monkeys, which has also been asked in exam. It just goes to show how this play's themes are still so relevant today. Let's dive into one of Shakespeare's most iconic and darkest tragedies, Macbeth. This play is a thrilling and terrifying journey into ambition, guilt, and the supernatural. The story is primarily based on historical accounts found in Raphael Holinshed's Chronicles of England, Scotland, and Ireland from 1577, a crucial fact that has been asked in exam. The play kicks off with a powerful scene. Three witches tell the Scottish general Macbeth that he will one day be king of Scotland. This prophecy sets the entire plot in motion and has been asked in exam. Fueled by this prophecy and encouraged by his wife, Macbeth kills the king, becomes the new king, and then descends into a spiral of paranoia and more murder. This is a perfect high-level summary that has been asked in exam. Now, here's a golden trick. Lady Macbeth's influence is central to the play. She is the one who persuades her husband to murder King Duncan, and this role has been asked in exam. You love this part. Just before the murder, Macbeth hallucinates a bloody dagger, a scene captured in his famous soliloquy. "Is this a dagger which I see before me?" A key line that's been asked in exam. After the murder, blood becomes a recurring symbol of their guilt. Macbeth cries out, "Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand?" A point that has also been asked in exam. The paranoia gets worse. Fearing the witch's prophecy that Banquo's descendants will rule, Macbeth has Banquo murdered, a fact that has been asked in exam. But Banquo's son, Fleance, escapes. At a banquet, Macbeth sees Banquo's ghost, a powerful moment that symbolizes his overwhelming guilt and has been asked in exam. Later, Macbeth seeks out the witches again, and they give him riddles that give him false confidence. Like the one that says, "No man born of woman shall harm Macbeth," a line that has been asked in exam. Lady Macbeth begins to unravel, sleepwalking and obsessively washing her hands, saying, "Out, damned spot," which symbolizes her deep guilt and has been asked in exam. The final confrontation comes when Macduff, whose family Macbeth has murdered, leads an army against him. Macbeth learns that Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped, meaning he was born via C-section, which fulfills the prophecy. This is a crucial point that has been asked in exam. In the final battle, Macduff kills Macbeth, saying, "Turn, hellhound, turn," a line that's been asked in exam. Finally, Malcolm is crowned king and order is restored. And here's something you probably didn't expect. The famous line, "There is no art to find mind's construction," which has also been asked in exam, is spoken by King Duncan, lamenting that he trusted the man who murders him. The line, "Come what come may, time and the hour runs," is from the character Angus and has been asked in exam. This play has inspired many other works, including the 1904 Hindi crime drama, Maqbool, directed by Vishal Bhardwaj, a point that's been asked in exam. And don't forget that Alfred Jarry's Ubu Roi is a parody of Macbeth that also uses elements from Hamlet and King Lear, an important fact that has been asked in exam. Finally, a great translator, Girish Chandra Ghosh, even translated the play into Bangla in 1893, a fact that has also been asked in exam. Let's dive into one of Shakespeare's most powerful and heartbreaking tragedies, King Lear. It's a story that explores the ultimate betrayal of family and a king's descent into madness. The play begins with King Lear's fateful decision. He divides his kingdom among his 3 daughters based on their flattery. This is a point that has been asked in exams, so let's be careful to remember it. His 2 eldest, Goneril and Regan, falsely profess their love for him and receive the kingdom. But his youngest and most beloved daughter, Cordelia, refuses to play the game, saying she loves him as much as she should. For this honesty, Lear disowns her, a tragic mistake that has been asked in exam. Lear soon discovers his mistake as Goneril and Regan betray him, stripping him of his power and respect. You'll love this part. As his world crumbles, a terrible storm rages, and the storm itself becomes a powerful symbol of Lear's internal chaos and his descent into madness. This is a key detail that has been asked in exam. He wanders the heath, crying out against his unjust suffering, famously saying, "I am a man more sinned against than sinning," a line that has also been asked in exam. Hold that thought, because a parallel plot mirrors Lear's tragedy. It's the story of Gloucester and his 2 sons, the villainous Edmund and the loyal Edgar. Edmund, Gloucester's illegitimate son, schemes to betray his father and brother. Gloucester is tragically blinded by Regan's husband, and he seeks to join Lear in his suffering, a plot point that has been asked in exam. Meanwhile, his true son, Edgar, disguises himself as a mad beggar, poor Tom, to protect his father, a disguise that has been asked in exam. The Gloucester subplot was actually inspired by an episode from Sir Philip Sidney's Arcadia, and Shakespeare's use of this source enriches the play's tragic depth, a fact that's been asked in exam. In the end, Lear and Cordelia are reunited in a touching scene. Lear, now a broken man, tells Cordelia, "We 2 alone will sing like birds in a cage," a heartbreaking line that has been asked in exam. But the tragedy isn't over. The villainous Edmund orders Cordelia's death, and despite his last-minute remorse, she is hanged, a moment that has been asked in exam. Lear dies of a broken heart, holding Cordelia's body and crying out, "Howl, howl, howl," a powerful lament that has been asked in exam. The play ends with Edgar and Albany taking control, restoring order to the kingdom, a point that's been asked in exam. Let's decode this. Lear's madness and suffering lead him to question what it means to be human, and he reflects, is man no more than this? He also grows to see the hypocrisy of society, noting that plate sin with gold allows people to get away with crime, a key point that has been asked in exam. And here's something you probably didn't expect. George Orwell's essay, Lear, Tolstoy and the Fool, critiques Tolstoy's views on Shakespeare, and this essay has been asked in exam. Finally, a modern play by Edward Bond, also called Lear, reimagines the king as a paranoid autocrat who builds a wall, symbolizing his self-isolation and paranoia, a fact that has been asked in exam.